Hi, Les from Retired and Living the Dream. Today's video, another car washing video, so it's going to go on for a little while. And I'm going to do a little discussion on the last video that I did about no going back. Now, I had 30,000 views on that video, so thanks very much for all those people who watched it and commented on the video. And I said in the video with regard to how you can protect yourself. Now, that's what the video is going to be about today. How you can protect yourself and so you don't lose everything, for mainly the guys when you come to Thailand. So let's start washing the car. Okay, I got a new valve as well, so I didn't have to push my finger over the edge. So okay, let's talk about coming to Thailand as a newbie and you're going to lose everything, or potentially you're going to lose everything, and how you can protect yourself from doing that. Now, I don't want to tell people how to suck eggs, and the amount of people that are going to watch this and say, well, you're a fool if you do all of these things. But I'm sure there are lots of people who do these things. And I've been caught out in my early days with regard to living in Thailand, and it's sort of a Pinocchio land. I used to call Patti Pinocchio land because there's a price to pay for going into Pattaya, and it's true, and it's still true to this day. There's a price to pay. So how can a newbie, and I've talked to many newbies who are coming here, and I've given my penny's worth, and whether people want to listen to it or not, it's totally up to them. But for me, if somebody tells you something, knowledge is power. And if you don't know anything, then you're like a lamb to slaughter coming to Thailand if you don't know anything, or if you've never spoken to anybody with regard to the pitfalls of coming to Thailand. And yes, there are pitfalls of coming to Thailand, and we're going to discuss a few of them today. So how not to lose everything when you first come to Thailand. It makes me laugh because I see it so often, and again, I'm stupidly enough, I've done some myself. So the first one to talk about, and I've got 12 altogether, 12 things on how to not lose everything when you're coming to Thailand. So the first one is think with your big brain and not your small brain. You'll be amazed at how many stupid mistakes and stupid thoughts and losing money when the guys start thinking with their small brains. It takes over all reasonable thinking, because the small brain, funnily enough, has a lot more power than the logical, big thinking brain. And when that small brain takes over, you can get yourself into an awful lot of bother. So that's the first one. Think with your big brain and not your small brain. I think there's a locker room in Suvarnabhumi Airport, but when all of these newbies come across, they deposit the big brain into these lockers and just think they can get by with a small brain. And then they use that thinking everything's going to be lovely here. And it is lovely here. But you can lose a lot of money thinking with your small brain. I'll just fill my bucket of water up, and then we'll go on to the second one. The second one of 12. And we're going to refer to my notes because I've sent a few emails out, and this is the definitive list that I tell everybody. Right, newbies. When you come here, think once, think twice, think 3 times. Think, is that a word? Think 3 times. Because you are caught up in the heat of the moment, and you're in a beautiful place, and it's lovely warm weather like this, and the drinks are flowing, and the people are happy, and you've got a few beers, and you're getting female attention. I mean, what isn't there to like about that, really? You know, it's like heaven, isn't it? And majority of guys that come here, they've gone through a few maybe relationship problems. That's why they're here. And now to get all of this attention by, you know, some stunningly beautiful Oriental Thai girl who laughs and smiles and makes you feel like $1 million, it's a nice feeling. But this is when your small brain takes over, and your small brain sorts of makes some silly mistakes and silly judgments, and this is when your small brain starts getting you into trouble. But hey ho, we've all been there. And I would say for all of those guys who are going to say, never happened to me, never happened to me, I'd like it just to meet or talk to the guy that says, it will never happen to me, or it has never happened to me. Because then I'll tell you a guy who's not quite telling the truth. And I've got to say, it probably happens to every newbie when they first came over here. So that was the second one. Think once, think twice, think 3 times before you start doing anything. Okay, let's have another look. And number 3 on the list. Yeah, that's true enough. If anything sounds too good to be true, then it is too good to be true. How many times in life have you gone in life and you think, wow, that's such a good deal. Wow, I'm absolutely over the moon with that. Not many, is there? It might be the odd once or twice. There's me bucket of water. It might be the odd once or twice. But in reality, them things are very few and far between. And if it does happen, fantastic. But for me, if it sounds too good to be true, then it is. Because at the end of the day, they don't happen very often. And when you're in a place like Thailand, although the temptation's there and you think, oh, it is what it is, it probably isn't. And that's to do with relationships, with property deals, with buying something, you know, a car, a motorbike. Buyer beware. Absolutely, certainly, unless you've been here for a while, think about it. If it sounds too good to be true, then it is. Then the next one, I call it the 3-strike rule. And my friend told me this when I very first came over here in Thailand, and it serves me well, and it served many other people well as well. The 3-strike rule. And it's all to do with red flags and warning signs. And what happens there is that if something happens, say for instance you got with a girl and she said something and you think, oh, that's a bit far-fetched, that's a little bit not normal, or, you know, so you got your first doubt. And because you've already watched this video and it's going to put something in your mind straight away. So the first time something goes wrong, might be a bit of paranoia because you've heard all the stories and you so desperately don't want them stories to happen to you. So that's a bit of paranoia. So then you move on from there. Then you hear another story and you think, that's the second one. So now you're probably right in what you're thinking. If she said something wrong, or, you know, lying, that's the biggest thing. If you're very clever and you can listen to what's going on. See, I don't lie. I tell the same story. I tell the same story, so you don't have to remember everything. And if you tell the same story, it's always the same story. But for some of the Thai girls, you know, they'll tell you different stories. And if you're clever enough and you think about that, you just think, that's funny. You said something different yesterday or last week or last month. You know, but that's your second alarm bell. That's your second red flag, if you like. But still, give them the benefit of the doubt. Because you've heard all of the stories and you think, you know, I don't want to walk away from her because she's beautiful, she's lovely, she's this, she's that, she's the other. So now I'm going to give her one more chance. So you give her one more chance. And then she does it a third time. And you think, that's it. Now that is the time to walk away. Because you've given her the doubt, benefit of the doubt 3 times. And it still comes back and you listen. And so for me, that's the best time to walk away. I did that in one of my relationships. I gave her the benefit of the doubt 3 times. Well, it wasn't the benefit of the doubt, she attacked me with a machete. But I've done a video about that, about living with a violent girlfriend. Have a look at that. And eventually I came up with a 3-strike rule and off she went. Oh, out of breath. Emphysema. It's playing on my lungs at the minute. Right. Reason number 5, gut feeling. How many times in life have you gone and you've done something and you've got a knot inside your stomach and you think to yourself, that just doesn't feel right? Well, you've got to listen to them feelings over here. I remember it in my first marriage, and my best friend said to me, Les, it's not too late to walk away. In the gut feeling, it was like, he's right. But I should have walked away. But my gut feeling was telling me to walk away, but then my other feelings were, I'll feel such a fool walking away, I'll feel such a fool, I've let all of these people down. But it was a gut feeling. And as it turned out, my gut feeling was correct, and a number of years later we got divorced. And the second time my gut feeling was when I married a Chinese girl. We went around the world together. She was my 3rd wife. And I had this gut feeling thinking, this isn't right. But I also had the 2 things on my shoulders telling me, whispering things like, you know, and because I had a number of failed relationships and marriages and that, it was just like, I'm being paranoid. I'm thinking too deeply into all of this lot. But my gut feeling was telling me, walk away, don't get married, don't be so stupid, don't get married. Yeah, I was stupid, I got married, and my gut feeling was telling me, don't do it. But I did it. And a year or so later, we got divorced. So listen to your gut feeling, because your gut feeling is another emotive process that goes on to tell you that something isn't quite right. So even if you don't act on your gut feeling, listen to it, see what it has to say, and then act on your gut feeling. And if that balances up with the 3-strike rule, well then you're definitely 100% right. So that was the 5th one, gut feeling. Okay, and the next one, number 6, is when you're buying something. Because, wow, will you be pestered to buy something with a long-term girlfriend or even a short-term girlfriend? From the minute you start talking to them, and let's say you're talking into the bars and all of these stalls come round with clothes on and things like that, and they'll say, oh. So from day one, you'll be encouraged to buy a dress at least, or a purse, or a pair of shoes, to make your beautiful girlfriend look even more beautiful. So this is when it all starts, and this is how they get the inclination as to whether you're a cheap Charlie, or whether you're helpful, or whether you're wealthy, or whether you're... They get a gauge for the feeling of how much you're going to put your hand in your pocket for, and it goes up from there. So let's just say you're with a girlfriend and you're with her for several months or whatever, and then you've been renting a motorbike. This is just an example, by the way. There's many other things that you could say, but I'm using this as an example. Motorbike, which is a very, very another common purchase, because when all said and done, 50,000 baht, which is, get a brand new scooter. I mean, my 160 was 71,000 baht. So it's cheaper than renting, and they'll talk you into it. They'll say, well, you know, you're paying 3,000 baht a month to rent this motorbike, and if you get it, it's yours, and you know it hasn't been in an accident, blah, 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 blah. And you think, yeah, that makes sense. You know, it's a brand new motorbike, there's a warranty with it, and we're going to go all over the place. And then, if you pay cash for it, you can put it in your name. Even if you're on a tourist visa, you can still put it in your name. But of course, the Thai girls might just think, I'll just tell them you can't put it in your name because you're only on a tourist visa. So therefore, the logical choice is to put it in my name. And for those people who are a little bit more affluent and decide to buy a car, because maybe they don't like riding motorbikes because it is pretty dangerous, I'm going to buy a car. Same thing. If you buy it for cash, you can put it in your name, even on a tourist visa. But of course the Thai girls will tell you, no, you can't do that. It'd be easy if you put it in my name. And if you put it in their name, then you can just say goodbye to wherever you bought. Because, you know, one, are you going to take the Thai girl to court for such a small amount of money, really? The likelihood you're just going to walk away and she's got another motorbike to her collection. She maybe is hiring out all the other motorbikes that she's got from her previous boyfriends or whatever. But that's just another way, another have it in your mind. Right, let's have a look. Okay. Now again, this is another one for number 7. If you're with your partner and you've been with your partner for a while, and she talks you into maybe putting it on finance for a car or a motorbike, and Thai ladies, even if they don't work, can get finance for a car or a motorbike. In fact, we proved that, and I still yet to have to do another video. The motorbike that we bought, we got it on finance, just to prove that a Thai girl doesn't work, can get it on finance, and we did. And I've still yet to do that video, but that will come along in the near future. But we got it on finance. But of course it's in the wife's name. So therefore, if anything happened between me and Ploy, everything's in her name. Same as the car, we got the car on finance. So it's in her name. But we've been together for 8 years now. And I would never have signed or agreed to buying a car and things like that, or the house, if I didn't trust the girl that I was with. Now I've got to say, I trust Ploy 100%, my wife. We've been together for 8 years, coming up this July, and she's one of the nicest, kindest, happiest people that I've ever met, and as honest as the day is long. And I cannot think of one single time in 8 years where the gut feelings come into play, or the little red flags come up, or anything emotive like that. Certainly to do with money, because I have been stung a couple of times, not for a lot of money, but once you've been stung, it's there forever in your mind, because it has happened to you, so you're a little bit more careful. So even if you get it on finance, you can go to a lawyer and get it sorted, the fact that you're paying for it. So if there's any dispute in the end, there's some paperwork involved with regard to how you can, sort the assets out if something else goes wrong. That's if you're, just boyfriend and girlfriend. But many people don't like getting solicitors involved because it's extra money. So that's buying a motorbike or a car. Right, again, the next thing, 8, buying a property with a girlfriend or the wife. I'll just go and get my cloth. Buying a house. Now, it is possible that you can buy a house or whatever, and but buyer beware. It's another thing. Get a lawyer to check over the details. Get the lawyer to sign everything. So everybody's 100% sure where they're splodging if the crap hits the fan and you need to walk away and things like that. Buy the house on a rent-to-buy basis. This is how we bought this house here, on a rent-to-buy basis. And so really, I haven't paid the money for this yet. So if anything ever happened, all I'd lose is a little bit more than what I'd be paying on rent. So that's possible to do it, buy a house on a rent-to-buy system. Much more difficult to do than buying it outright. But if you buy it outright and you don't take preventative measures and losing it, you're likely to lose a lot of money. So as much as I hate lawyers, go and see the lawyer before anything goes wrong, because it'll cost you a lot more to see a lawyer when things do go wrong, if things do go wrong. But if you listen to all the other 7 points that I've already made, you're on the good road to having a successful relationship. And so, okay. And if you're married or you're marrying a Thai person, get a prenuptial. And if they don't agree with the prenuptial, because when all's said and done, it's going to be your money that's going to pay for everything, not hers, and she's the biggest beneficiary out of it all. So if she disagrees with the prenuptial, then is she the girl that you should be with? So just prenuptial, that'll save you a fortune, but you'll have to go and see a lawyer. So 9. That was 8. Number 9, get a prenuptial. Right. Number 10. In a brand new relationship, money is vitally important, and all the discussions that you're going to talk about is going to involve money one way or another. And don't think that you can get away without talking about money. It'll be for your expectations, what she's expecting from you, what you're expecting from her. And it's vital that you get this over and done with in the early stages, and then she knows where she's splodging, you know where you're splodging, and as I say, by doing that, you have both a better understanding as to your financial commitment, because when all said and done, it is a financial commitment over here, as it is in every other country. Spending money, we all have to do it. Number 11 is the communications. Talk about anything and absolutely everything. Don't think that she understands everything, because you're from 2 different cultures, 2 different backgrounds, and what's good for you might not be good for her, and what's good for her might not be good for you. So negotiations and talking, it's a big issue over here. Understand, Thais have a habit of saying yeah, when actually they might mean I don't know, but they're too embarrassed to say yes and no. But they're too embarrassed to say no, so therefore they just say yes because they think it's pleasing you, that's what you want to hear. But in reality, you both need to make sure you're on the same page as far as living together and finances, because finances is a big issue over here. And finally, number 12, basically all of the above. If you do all of this lot, then you won't go far wrong. I'm no guru, I'm no expert, but just having lived here for 12 years and seeing what goes on a weekly basis, basically, with other people moving here and settling down, and you know, the good stories and the bad stories, but sadly there's more bad stories than good stories. But don't let the bad stories happen to you. Don't you become another statistic. So from Les, retired and living the dream, till the next one, bye for now.